Hello, my name is Dave Orlandi. I am a consultant with Quest Software. In this short video, I review Spotlight's workload and wait state analysis dashboards. A primary task for most any DBA is to identify SQL-level bottlenecks. The workload analysis dashboard allows for an easy workflow to identify these offending queries. This is Spotlight's graphical user interface. I'm selecting an instance from the heat map, bringing me to the home page for this instance. Be sure that the Monitor tab here at the top is selected and choose Workload Analysis here. Now, unlike most other Spotlight metrics collected via queries against the SQL Server dynamic management views, the Workload Analysis dashboard gathers this data with extended events. The Workload Analysis dashboard helps with identifying bottleneck queries. Perhaps they're resource intensive. Maybe it's a long-running query. Very quickly, you can identify the offensive query, who ran it, against what database, what application it's associated with, and so on. First, you choose your resource consumption here at the top left corner. The default is CPU, meaning you'd be finding CPU resource-intensive queries. There's a drop-down for other choices: duration to look for long-running queries, or read or write-intensive queries, perhaps to identify I/O bottlenecks. From here, move to the top right corner and choose the time frame, with the last hour as the default, and also offering a drop-down with additional options. You can narrow the window of time to, say, the last 15 minutes, or widen the search to something like 6 hours. There's even a custom option to allow you to define the specific window of time. Now, it's as easy as traversing this navigation tree on the left here. That lists several data dimensions. Now understand, there's not one specific correct way of navigating the tree. You can initiate your dimensional analysis however you'd like. So for example, starting at the SQL instance level, maybe you'd like to understand what databases have had the heaviest CPU workload. Simply expand the database's dimension. Note that with any dimension, it lists most to least of the resource type you chose above, so in this case, CPU. It looks like the AdventureWorks database has had the most CPU workload, followed by sales, then distribution, and so on. Let's say we're interested in the sales database, so I could expand that and investigate further. Like, for example, what users are generating activity against that sales database? I could expand that and see that these users here were active against it in that 1 hour time period. The user at the top here is generating the most CPU resource-intensive workload. Now, if we'd like, we can see that user's activity by drilling into the statements dimension. Select a statement to see details like its duration and number of execution. This exposes other capabilities too, like viewing the explain plan. Now, if you like the look and feel and navigation of the workload analysis dashboard, you'll also like its companion dashboard for identifying wait events, accessed here. This is what I consider the opposite side of the coin, if you will, and just as important, understanding the associated wait events. The navigation is nearly identical with the dimensional drill down, but now it displays wait information like wait type, wait time in milliseconds, and the percentage of total. There's even links to a site called Waitopedia to get additional information about the various wait types. As a part of any successful Spotlight evaluation, or just day-to-day usage, be sure to familiarize yourself with the workload analysis and wait events dashboards.